What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another sports betting video. I am battling through some back pain right now, but I am determined to get this one out because I said I would. And I think my new schedule going forward is going to be doing a video on Thursday. I'm basically going to be trying to do videos on the days that the games are actually happening, unless there are circumstances where I won't be able to, like holidays, for instance, like next week, Thanksgiving. I'll most likely do the video Wednesday for the Thanksgiving slate, or maybe if I can get up nice and early and get that done, because I'm going to be driving anyway, like a few hours to my father's. So that's that. But yeah, going forward on regular weeks, doing a video on Thursday, and I'm gonna try and get videos done for the NFL on either Saturdays or Sundays, and then of course Monday night, do a video for the Monday night game. It just works out better than trying to do a video like 4 or 5 times a week than with my schedule right now. So all right, without further ado, let's jump into it. So right now, we've got everybody, from what I've seen, everybody seems to be jumping on the Bengals 3.5 or buying the hook down to 3. And I mean, I definitely understand that. The Bengals have been pretty mid. I think that's how the kids say it these days. They've been pretty mid this year. Haven't really had any of those eye-popping games. They handled the Bills. They kind of handled them. The Bills almost came back, but yeah, ultimately the Bengals were able to hold out on that one. Oh, wait. Was that the Bills that they played? Or did they... No. They beat the Bills handedly. That's right. The Bills were playing somebody else on Monday night. Was it Denver? Gosh, man, I'm getting all my weeks mixed up. It was Denver, and then the field goal, right, they missed. Okay. My bad. Sunday, the Bengals got... they got pretty carved up on defense by the Texans. And... Burrow and the offense, I mean, they made some plays. Tyler Boyd had like a career day pretty much. But they haven't really had that game where everybody was like, okay, these guys are like 100% back, in my opinion at least. And the Ravens, well, they're 7-3. They came off of a tough loss against Cleveland, where they had a 14-point lead and they blew it. And this seems to be a trend for the Ravens. It's like a reverse, like kind of like how the Steelers tend to start playing better football as the year goes on with Mike Tomlin. You get the reverse with the Ravens. It's like they start out really hot and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like the best team in the AFC. And then slowly they start dropping some games, they start blowing some leads, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And we're wondering on that short week, is that going to have an effect? Both these teams coming off a loss, both these teams division rivals. This is going to be a very hard-fought game, which is why that total's sitting right around 46.5. If I were to take that total, it would be under 46.5. But anyway, to continue on with what I was saying, and this is another thing, man. Both teams have some pretty key players out this week for this game. T. Higgins out for the Bengals. Sam Hubbard is still out for on the defensive side. And then for the Ravens, they're going to be without Ronnie Stanley, one of the top offensive tackles in the league. I always try to pay attention to those injuries, because when you get a solid, I would say solid left tackle or offensive tackle, really, at any rate, who's like an anchor, someone you can rely on, even if they're not like the top, top five in the league. You could still rely on them to come up big for you. When those types of players start to go down, things just fall apart for the offense. I mean, just look at the Giants when their offensive line, they've had like three offensive linemen in and out of the lineup constantly for the entire year, and their offense has just been a mess. The same thing happened with Tom Brady last year. Or was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. And, they lost their center, Ryan Jansen, who went down with a knee injury. I think that was last year. And they dealt with just a bunch of other injuries that forced other players in and out of the lineup. And, that offensive line just wasn't the same, and Tom Brady just didn't have the same type of protection that he did. And, the offense struggled, So, the Ravens are also going to be most likely without, because they put a doubtful status on him, but Harbaugh did say he has a chance of playing, and that's Marlon Humphrey, the defensive back. And he's regarded as one of the better corners in the league, and he is doubtful with, I think, a calf injury. When they carted him out, he had his cleat off, sock off, had his foot propped up on the cart when he was going back to the locker room. So both sides having some pretty big pieces missing. Now, that's where I say the edge still favors the Ravens, mainly because the Bengals' pass rush has not been very good at all this year, despite Trey Hendrickson having like 8 sacks, I think, on the year. He's really been the only one who's been able to get pressure. Everyone else, it's kind of just been like hit or miss. And, of course, Sam Hubbard being out doesn't help things either. But with that being said, the line is still leaning towards the Ravens. And I kind of have to agree with that. And, it is one of those games where it's a rivalry game and they all know each other. They play each other twice a year, every year. And, but I think I do have to lean the Ravens. But this may be one of those things, because I've got 3 sports books. This is going to be one of those games that I actually go both ways, where I arbitrage. I bet both sides. Because for me, despite the line being at 3.5, I still see this as kind of like a pick-em almost. Because both teams can play. I don't even know if they've played each other yet. I have to look that up live because I'm terrible and I'm never prepared for anything. That's actually a shirt I have. Please be patient. I'm a terrible person. Okay, Bengals played the Browns week 1. Okay, so the Bengals and Ravens already played this year. Now, granted, they were probably all 100% healthy, give or take, in week 2. The Ravens only won by 3, and the line's at 3.5. So that's just, sometimes it don't matter. It's a different game. Both teams are a lot different than they were back then compared to now, for better or worse. So, these games just have a history of just being defensive, like, slugfests, which is why I would lean on the under 46.5. You could probably get like a 24-17 type of game, 2017 type of game, where they barely even crack 40 points. So I think the big thing here is going to be, can the Bengals stop the run? That's going to be the big thing. The Ravens defense, I'm not too worried about them stopping the run. I mean, with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, they've got some solid players. What's that safety's name out of Notre Dame? Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's driving me crazy. I can't think of it. But he's a big physical safety who plays in the box a lot. So I don't think they'll have a problem running stuffing the run. Joe Mixon's been up and down this year. They haven't really had the most consistent run game, and they're usually behind. I'm pretty sure. So they're having to pass the ball a lot more. And plus, when you have Joe Burrow and when all your receivers are healthy, but you tend to lean more on the pass than you do the run, which I think is a mistake, really. But But again, I'm looking at possibly betting both sides of these on different sports books. And of course, we're going to put together that same game parlay. We can't have a video without one of those. So far, yeah, all the books have it at 3.5. Player props. Let's see. I'm looking for pass yards. So we got Lamar Jackson. Let's see. That's where that's pro. I'm just looking where are the props. It's all the way down here. I was so confused for a second. All right, pass yards. So Burrow's at 254. Well, between 252, 259 on MGM. Wow, 257 on DK. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, like, I could see him throwing for like 220, 230. Jackson, 226. This is where I may bet the under on his pass yards, under 225. I think if the Ravens are going to win this game convincingly, they really need to hammer, I think, the run game, in my opinion. Because that's literally been where they've been the strongest, is that power option with Lamar Jackson, play action with Lamar Jackson rolling out, getting out in space, and they've got the speed to do it now with Zay Flowers, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar only has like 200, 205 passing yards, maybe one touchdown, and maybe a running touchdown, or maybe the running backs, Edwards and I forget that other Mitchell. I forget. He may have, they may have 2 touchdowns in this as well. Who knows? Lamar Jackson, who knows? Maybe he doesn't throw any touchdowns. Maybe it's all running. Maybe it's the run game, taking it back to the old school days. As far as receiving yards go, we got Chase at 82. I don't know if I buy that. Mandrews, 57, best odds, but yeah. Maybe Zay Flowers, I could see him getting over 50 yards, like getting like 55 to 60. Boyd is pretty low, especially coming off of his like great performance on Sunday, and he's going to basically be a starter tonight. I could see him getting 50 yards. That's pretty much it. Everyone else is kind of iffy. Rush yards. Let's see. Mixon. Yeah. Mitchell. Wow, they don't even have him listed in MGM. What a bunch of wusses. Let's see. So DK and FanDuel, 36.5 on FanDuel, 37.5 on DK. Yeah, it might be worth taking a look at. Jackson's in the 40s. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he took off and run a few times. Let's see. Not first touchdown. Let's take a look at any time. Let's see. Gus Edwards plus money on FanDuel and DK. That's always good. I would take that. Mark Andrews, I think I would take as well. Jackson is always worth a sprinkle just because of his ability to run it in. And it looks like FanDuel has like the most top odds for anytime TDs. Zay Flowers, I think, could also be in the mix. Tyler Boyd as well. I know Chase is, but I mean, you look at the odds there, it's just not worth it. Well, I mean, it's not that it's not worth it, but I'm just like, plus 135. I mean, if it's in a parlay, sure, but I like looking at these secondary players, in games like this to get touchdowns, because coaches kind of got to think outside the box a little bit, try and outsmart their opponent. Yeah, I think that's it for props, really. Oh, I did want to look at field goals, kicking points. Okay, that's just points. I'm looking for actual field goals. Maybe they don't have them on here. I'm still not 100% used to this, and I'm also not paying for this, so yeah, it's probably going to be when I actually put together the actual picks, the actual parlay here. One thing I would consider a strong bet is first half Ravens, if you can get it at 3 or less. I think that would be good. And the under. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I already went over the injuries. Yeah, Higgins, Hubbard, Stanley, um, Marlon Humphrey is doubtful, questionable. Um, yeah, questionable usually means they're going to play. So except for Charlie Jones coming off of IR. Um, and another thing I want to do is I want to give a nice big shout out to Game On sports betting channel on Rumble. I've been listening to these gentlemen for a few weeks and have been having a great time doing so. They do get up early in the morning for that morning espresso shot, but they usually stream for hour and a half, 2 hours. Today was 2 hours and almost 3 hours because my guy Will here had the day off. But yeah, they go over everything, always entertaining, always insightful, always dropping knowledge, have a great live chat community, and which I am also involved in as far as the live chat goes. So yeah, and they recently got on the Rumble, what is it, partnership program for small channels, I think, or something like that. But anyway, definitely go check them out. I believe they're also on YouTube too, if that is something you would prefer as well. So, with that being said, let's move on to the same game parlay. All right. So let's take a look here. For something like this, game lines, I'm gonna buy. Oh no. Okay, yeah, Okay, never mind. I always forget which books do the half points and which ones only do the full. And it's actually, I know PointsBet. If the line's 3.5, they're only going full points up or down. So, so here we will. That's plus. I'm looking for. Is this the Ravens side? It is. All right. So here I'm buying the hook down to 3. I'm gonna do the under 46. TD scores. Let's see. Ooh, Tyler Boyd at that 240 is really enticing. Yeah, I know. I know Mark Andrews is usually a pretty solid option, man. But I don't know, man. I know the Bengals have given up a lot of big plays this year, and I think Zay Flowers, man, might be in for a big bomb for a touchdown. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bomb. It could be like a 30-yard strike, But passing props. I know I talked about Jackson possibly not hitting that, but if it was for a parlay that that I'm trying to be serious about, and I want to actually have a good chance of hitting, I don't know if I want to take the chance on that under. By itself, maybe maybe if you're a little bit more keen on the run game, but in a parlay that I'm actually going to try my hardest to construct to actually be a winner, I think I'm going to skip. Look at this. They don't even have Burrow's pass yards. Do they have the alternate ones? No. Oh, they have alternate pass yards, but they don't have the... Oh, now it's back. It's at 259. That's crazy. That is crazy. Do they have Lamar Jackson touchdowns? Over 1.5. Do we go with the under? The under's at minus 140. Well, let's leave that alone for right now. Wow. Everybody's hammering this. Gus Edwards over 45.5 rush yards. Let me look at his alternate. 40 is at minus 210. And you go with 5.5 more yards, you get almost 100. Oh, boy. Receiving props. Let's go here. I think I'm going to look at Zay Flowers. Am I missing him? Where is he? All the way down here. Locked. Wow. Do they have the alternate receive? They have alternate receiving yards? Okay. I'll throw the 50 in there. 50 receiving yards for Zay Flowers. Half. Can't get the 2.5 or 3, or can't get the minus 3 rather. 2.5. I think I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah, that's actually better. Obviously. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. Ravens minus 2.5 at halftime. Defensive. let's see, special teams. See, they have total field goals made over 3.5, 4 field goals, 2 each, huh? It's at plus 105. That's pretty good. McPherson's at minus 210. Justin Tucker's over 2.5. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I mean, Tucker's great. Don't get me wrong, but oh boy. So I want to add. Well, I don't know. We're at plus 2100. This isn't bad. Ravens minus 3, under 46. Flowers anytime TD, and 50 yards receiving, and then a first half spread for the Ravens minus 2.5. I think that's pretty good. Let's see. What's a tenner look like? 220? Okay, so we can do 5. We can do 5 for 110. I think that's pretty good. 5 picks. I try my best not to throw too many on here, man, because then it's just getting crazy, man. When you've got like 7, 8, 8 legs on a same game parlay. But yeah, we'll roll with this. And I'll probably end up. Whoa, accept changes. Oh, plus. Oh, I waited too long. Now it's 105. I lost $5 because I waited too long. I wouldn't shut up. And outside of same game parlay, I think the definite line here is to buy down to 3 and hit that minus 148 for a good solid bet. But again, like I said, I'll probably hit the 3 here for the Ravens and a plus 3 somewhere else to try and arbitrage a little bit. But yeah, those are my picks for tonight. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you all later. Take care.